Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 4, Episode 24, The Shining. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcastNetwork and youtube.com/WeArePodcastNetwork. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast, so what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. and if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Camp Slash Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central. I am Duck, your head camp counselor, in my very messy room. I'm here with other head camp counselors. We got David. All work and no play makes Jessup a dull boy. Jessup, David, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Next, we got Jay. I'm going to bash your brains in McClintock. Oh, shit, he's got the bat. Jay, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. That was very aggressive, but it's all good.
Very, very aggressive. After I said it, I was like, oh man, I feel bad. And finally, we got Raph. Here's Johnny Ramirez. Raph, how are you, sir?
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? You didn't get it?
I didn't get it.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Y'all, we watched The Shining, release date May 23rd, 1980. Running time 146 minutes. No, it's 144 minutes. No, it's 119 minutes. It all depends on which country you were in when this movie came out and how Stanley Kubrick felt about the cut at the time. Budget 19 million, box office 47.3 million. Synopsis. A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter where a sinister presence influences the father into violence, while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from both past and future. Let us check out a trailer. Oh, there is the freaking poster that Raph loves so much. Can you see it, Raph?
Yeah, and I posted it.
Supposedly, it took 300 tries to get this poster right. And that would go hand in hand with how Stanley Kubrick directed. It took so many takes to get the scenes correct.
And they settled for a picture of Bat Boy from the Weekly World News on a yellow and black background. Kubrick, you mad genius. You son of a bitch.
You did it, Kubrick. You did it. All right, trailer time. Let's see if we can watch this bad boy.
I don't suppose they told you anything in Denver about the...
Coming through the headset. Hold on. Hold up. Hey. All right, now it's coming through. Look at that dog.
It's Tony.
Heard a man named
Say hi, Tony.
That's Tony. There was a Tony in the movie.
Charles Gray.
Yeah, I know. That's what's scary. Tony, where'd you come from?
That's why it's scary.
Red Robin.
Normal individual. But at some point...
Oh, how about that kid's acting? Oh.
We'll get to it.
A complete mental break.
And I was saying I didn't get it. I was saying I didn't get the movie.
You didn't get the movie? Oh, we'll get into it.
Rest assured, that's not going to happen with me.
You did?
That's right.
Mom, do you really want to go and live in that hotel for the winter?
Sure.
You just gonna chill?
It'll be lots of fun.
The only thing that can get a bit trying up here during the winter is the tremendous sense of isolation.
I like how he was really cool when he got told that they were murdered, and he's like, "That's fine.
He's like,
Let
I
me
like
bring my
that
whole
stuff.
family." Yeah. Oh, he says that his wife likes horror stuff.
Yep. And that you got to live inside of a horror movie.
Bro. And I don't know where Javi finds her to be attractive. I'm sorry.
I think Shelley Duvall is a fucking goddess. I think she's so attractive.
So I was watching it with my friend, and we think it's because she looks like a Tim Burton character.
Oh, totally.
So did you see
right?
the blood at the end of the trailer there? He had to fight them to get that in there. And what he ended up saying was, it's rusty water. And they passed it. Freaking ridiculous. All right, let's talk about our history with it real quick. I will begin. My first girlfriend was all about this movie, but she was very confused about the dog face blowjob scene. To which I said, I can teach you. No, to which I said, I've never seen it. So I had to check out the movie. And the first time I watched it, it creeped the hell out of me. I never felt like it was super scary, but as I get older, it becomes scarier. And I don't know why that is. Maybe because this movie kind of is like a midlife crisis in a lot of ways. Also, the domestic violence aspect of it is very, very scary. And I think as you get older and you've been in relationships sometimes that fail, like myself, and have been domestically abused by partners, that becomes even more terrifying. So great movie. I love it. Raph, you don't get it though. What's your history with it?
Oh, so yeah, I do remember watching it several times, and a well shot movie. I got a feeling that it was like The Sixth Sense, because at the end he's in the picture. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I need somebody to explain to me.
Supposedly that is not really him, but that is a manifestation of him in a previous life. And he was in that. So he was destined to relive his madness again within this life.
And this was in the pretext?
No, I read that today. I don't like that explanation. What I like is he has become part of the ghost of the hotel. And so therefore that ball that he goes to, when he goes to the bar the second time, he is part of that, which replays over and over and over again. And they just collected another soul. And that's why he's in the photo.
That's why the scene in Doctor Sleep ties in so well, because he's now the guy working at the bar.
He's Lloyd.
So he's Lloyd.
Oh yeah.
He gets sucked into the picture. He's now part of the hotel, and when Danny Torrance goes back, he's now Lloyd. And so that picture at the end makes more sense with Doctor Sleep. Which, by the way, watching these movies back to back is the greatest experience ever, next to cocaine on heroin.
Speedball, baby. That's
at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into some more in-depth conversation about this here. Jay, what's your history with the movie?
I saw it for the first time when I was a junior in high school. It was on late at night. I caught about half of it, and I was like, all right, man, I gotta get some sleep. So one Sunday afternoon, it was on, and I devoted that time to just powering through it. And man, power through it is what I did. It's not that it's a boring movie, but it is just it's 2.5 hours, and it feels like 2.5 hours. It is not, and it's not meant to be paced like in an amazing way. And I'm not faulting it for that, but man, you really feel every.
It's a slow burn.
Slow would be a slight understatement. Like it speeds up every now and then it goes, all right, time to bring it back down. Like it's definitely a movie that you gotta just. You cannot be an impatient person and watch this movie. You gotta just get through it. But I liked it. I definitely liked it.
I think it's much like looking at a painting at a museum. You have to sit there and stare at it and really take it in and try to digest it. You know what I mean? But talking about how slow it is, realistically, people talk like this. And then like, they just take their time. It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of dead air.
David, how about you? What's your history with it?
I did not see it in the theater. I saw it when it came out on HBO. I was at my mom's house, and HBO was like a babysitter for me. She worked night shifts at the post office, and I was home alone all the time, and she had HBO, and that's how I watched The Exorcist. It really like those experiences really, made me the horror person that I am today. Thanks, Mom.
Done and done, yeah.
But dude, when those fucking twins showed up, I mean, I was, God, I don't know how old I was. This movie came out in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 11 years old when it came out. So I was probably 12 when it came out on HBO. It terrified me. And the song, the music, the Moog, that opening soundtrack. And it's such an interesting horror movie because it pretty much, until the last last third, it pretty much takes place entirely in the light. It is not a dark, gloomy, scary movie. It takes place, and that was a decision that Kubrick made on purpose. He wanted to be, wanted to make a horror movie in the light, keep everything out in the open.
I mean, the lighting was so bright the set caught fire. That's how light.
Yeah.
Because from all the wattage that they were throwing at that bad boy. But you're right. It kind of reflects his descent into madness. You know, there's that scene where Jack Nicholson is just staring at the snow, and he just looks insane already. You know what I mean? And then by the end of it, when you see him again, it reflects with him being dead. You know what I mean? It bookends it very well, his madness. And I love that. I love that hard cut to the frozen over eyes kind of cross bulging at the top of the eye, you know, the lids look of him. It's just awesome.
And I had a big wheel like that. So yeah. And I kind of connected with Danny Torrance a little bit, and having parents that were they weren't abusive, but they divorced parents, and you know, the fighting all the time and shit like that. And so I really connected with him, and the idea of being left alone. I was left alone a lot as a kid to kind of do my own thing, and the fact that I'm alive today is a fucking miracle. I guess I was never kidnappable enough or cute enough or someone to abductable.
Well, David, it was different times. If you notice, they just let the black guy take the kid after meeting him 5 minutes.
I know, dude. Complete, and like, not even batting an eye. Just like,
nah, bro. They're like, go.
Complete stranger. But yeah, I mean, I really, and I still enjoy it to this day. I love it. I'm fascinated by how much Stephen King hates it. But here's the thing: I've never read the novel, so I don't know how different this is from the novel. I just know that Stephen King fucking hates it.
Enjoying this episode? Go check out Geekster, a dating and friends app for geeks that focuses on common interests as a way to make meaningful connections. Download today on the App Store or click the link in the description to find out more. Geekster, this is what happens when nerds collide. Geekster, available on iOS and Android.
Did you see the remake?
I never did, 'cause I heard it was awful, so I never bought it.
Well, I mean, I saw it, you know, obviously next to this. I will say that Rebecca De Mornay, to me, was a definite upgrade. But as far as a lot of it, a lot of it's pretty weak, but I'm told it's way, way more faithful. So it's one of those things where it's like, what do you want? I mean, like, a lot of people kind of like, they shit on Stephen King for hating this movie. And like, obviously there's a ton of things that Kubrick did intentionally to piss him off. Like
putting his name on the beginning where it says a Stanley Kubrick film instead of The Shining by Stephen King.
Not only that, but I heard there was like, it got so petty between these guys that there was a car color, and to shove it in King's face, he took the car color that he wanted and made sure that car got into a vicious wreck on camera. So if you remember the big car wreck, that was the car color that King officially wrote.
Oh.
There's a lot of catch as catch can, but at the same time, I almost, like, again, guys, I'm a big old pro wrestling fan, and I can tell a work when I see one. And part of me thinks all that was just a giant work to help sell tickets, and I think it did. I think it helped. I think you all got hoodwinked. I think you all got duped. I think it's one of the greatest long cons of all time. Stephen King, Kubrick trading each other Christmas cards. Like, yep, they still believe we hate each other. And all of a sudden, we're all victims of it.
Is Kubrick sending them from the grave? What the hell?
Heard it here first.
No, we know for a fact it's real because there's litigation in it. To get the rights back to the TV miniseries, Stephen King actually had to write on paper, I will not talk shit about The Shining 1980 any longer, except for my dislike of the casting of Jack Nicholson for the film.
Well, yeah, it's because he knew Kubrick was going to die in a couple of years. The feud had gone stale. There was nothing left to go with it. The rivalry had ended. That's my opinion.
It's interesting that he did hate it so much. He hated the casting, he hated the changes, he hated Shelley Duvall in the role. He felt that the character should be an independent woman who slowly goes into insanity, much like he thought that Jack Torrance should be a very upright father figure, whereas Jack Nicholson kind of plays him as a little bit unhinged from the beginning. So
also,
and they don't kill Scatman. They don't kill Scatman. Scatman actually rescues them. Yeah, that's why he was so upset.
Yeah, in the book.
Yeah, but also about Shelley Duvall, and Stephen King definitely wrote this. Is why Rebecca De Mornay was recast. Is that in the book that character was a absolute smoke show. like the pinnacle of beauty. And so, you know, obviously they wanted it to be even more. They thought it would be, you know, people would have more empathy. But, you know, Shelley Duvall brought her own little twist to it, and I thought she did great.
I don't understand the dislike of Shelley Duvall's look. Like, she's mousy, she's cute, she's like the all-American girl. Like, I don't get it. But that's not what King wanted for the novel. You're right. King wanted a cheerleader, a former cheerleader, a blonde.
That loses it. That goes crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get it twisted, guys. Shelley Duvall did go crazy. Kubrick absolutely drove her insane. That's not an act at all. The 100 takes here and there. She developed a smoking habit she never broke after this movie. This movie, for lack of a better word, it ruined her career. I mean,
between her, Shelley Duvall, and Scatman Carruthers, they both had a terrible time on this film. Kubrick just made them do their scenes over and over and over again. And Jack Nicholson, same thing. Only thing is, he actually had a good relationship with Kubrick, and so did the kid actor. So much so that Kubrick actually sent the kid actor birthday cards, would call him on his graduation, followed him through his whole childhood. Yeah. So I never even thought of it that way. I thought it was kind of cute.
He had a great relationship with him. He always bumped him up on his lap and like showed him the dailies from Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny. Uncle Stanley wants to talk to you again. Great.
Raph is chomping at the bit. What you got, Raph?
So the biggest difference, or what I heard that Stephen King didn't like, was the ending. Because in the book and the 97 film, the hotel burns down, which would have made for a better ending had that.
Well, that's why they did that in Dr. Sleep. He added that in there in Dr. Sleep to kind of like make Stephen King like, hey. And that's the thing that you know, I'm bummed out that Dr. Sleep didn't do as well as it should have, because man, he really did a great job of tying the novel and the movie together.
Dr. Sleep, I think, is as good as The Shining.
I would totally agree with you, man. Rose the Hat, fucking one of the best villains ever.
Yeah.
And that was what, Michael Flanagan?
Yep.
Mike Flanagan? Yeah. The guy who did all the Haunting of Hill House and, you know, Midnight Mass and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely what I would like to call, when it comes to horror, as close to an heir apparent as we would have to making Kubrick-like stuff. He loves a slow burn, man.
Yes.
He loves it.
I mean, even though the Ouija Origin of Evil, which David pointed out to us, was amazing. And still sometimes I think about how creepy that little girl was in the background and blurred out and like talking like demonic shit. Freaks me out. But yeah, he's a great filmmaker, and I enjoy what he's putting together. And he's working on The Exorcist right now, I believe. The sequel, I believe he's working on. But anyhow, The Shining is, I mean, I think it's a masterpiece. But Raph, you said you don't like the little boy's acting?
No, it was pretty bad. And then I couldn't tell for a while there if he was wearing a wig, but it turned out that was his real hair. It was just messed up. I don't know. I was trying to pick too much at it, but I think I gotta go from the beginning when she started talking about the domestic violence. She's, again, you said you've been around it so much, or she's just been what's it called? Where you desensitized? Yeah, exactly. She was like, oh, he just grabbed her arm and dislocated it, and you know, she tried to it was an accident.
She's like, it's one of those things that happens. And she's like, you know, just put with a little bit too much force. And you can kind of see it in the way he acts, even before he's possessed by the hotel, in the scene where he's writing. And he's like, when I'm writing, you do not come in here. This is my space. It almost seems like his family is a burden to him to begin with. And like, even in the car when they're going up, like Danny says, I'm hungry, Dad. And he goes, well, you should have ate your breakfast. You know, it's that attitude of he is very disconnected. So when you get to that scene where he's sitting on the couch and Danny's sitting on his lap and he's like, I'd never hurt you. I'd never do anything bad to you. The music is like chilling and the acting is very like, he's lying. You know what I mean?
He looked like a different person.
He wants to believe it, but he's lying. And like, he's become possessed by the hotel, the spirit of the hotel, which has its own shine to it. You know what I mean? I didn't know this. Two things I didn't realize until I kind of watched it today. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't have time to watch all of it. I had to clip this bad boy. It's a long movie. But one of the things I noticed was I didn't notice that the twins, who aren't actually twins, they're 8 and 10 years old. Those were the daughters of the caretaker before, and he had killed them. I didn't realize that. I always just thought that
Yeah.
they were ghosts in The Shining.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I never put that together. And the second thing is, I totally forgot what the second thing was. I'm sorry.
Well,
Been a
that
long
killing.
day.
When Jack's getting the job and the guy explains the murder, he explains that the caretaker killed the twins.
Right. I forgot
That's
all about that. So I at the beginning of it, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a connection. And then whenever I saw them hatched it in the hallway, I was like, oh shit. But then I thought he said one kid, so I didn't make the connection until I was reading up on it later. I was like, oh, okay, that's.
I found that the way they described killing, the word that the guy used was probably one of the most ominous ways ever. He goes, I had to correct them.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
He dropped
that's
the
a
N word
gloomy-
pretty hard there too. I was a little bit like, whoa, and then the way Jack Torrance just kind of repeats it back, like very questioning, an N word. I was like, oh my god, like this is intense. But the whole thing, like they say there's allegories all through the place. Like they say it's an allegory for the Native Americans' lands being taken. It's the moon landing hoax. It's all these conspiracy theories surrounding The Shining, And I think on a surface level, it's just a film about domestic abuse, is what I think it is. I think it's straightforward. I think that's what he wanted to make, was a slow burn, because when you're in a abusive relationship, it is like you're a lobster in a pot. You don't realize it. And it builds and it builds and it builds slowly until finally you're being cooked alive. And
So
I think that's why this movie is such a slow burn.
So if you add a gas leak to that, then it makes perfect sense that Jack's hallucinating all this fucking people.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to get it now.
Dude, I've been in bad relationships, and trust me, like you lose your mind a little bit, man.
Look,
I remember laying in bed thinking my girlfriend's gonna come in and stab me to death. This woman hates me so much. Like, it was insane. What were we gonna say, Raph?
No, I was just saying because I was always thinking that the previous caretaker was his brother. Like, that's what I was thinking, for him to be in the picture and stuff. But now you're saying that it was just him reliving it. So he was.
I think that he was possessed. The hotel has magical powers. Obviously, it has the shine, and I believe that it consumed him, and he becomes part of the spirit of it, and therefore it changes itself. It can manifest these pictures, and so they go to that ball like every single night. That ball is always rocking. Like, that was a highlight, because not everything in the hotel is supposed to be evil. You know what I mean? It's just, that's why he says stay away from room 237 specifically, but the rest of it doesn't necessarily have to be evil. It's just, I believe that's what a haunting is. There's a thing called a residual haunting, which is just a loop. Right? Let's say you walk a path 1,000 times in your lifetime. You leave an imprint in that path where you might see a shadow walking it. And it could be David, who just walked that path 1,000 times and he left an imprint on it. That's what I think the haunting is. I think it's a residual haunting. They relive that ballroom time. And the reason there's so many ghosts there is because it was mafia related. There were murders that happened in the hotel. Different ways people died, and they're haunting it because they're stuck there. You know what I mean? That's what haunting does.
Well, what also it is, Duck, is when something violent happens and a soul is removed from the body violently and quickly, and the person isn't ready to cross over yet. They stay in that moment. There's a great haunting study of a woman who was her head was chopped off by her boyfriend, and he chopped it off at the top of the stairs, and her head fell down the stairs and rolled down the stairs. And you could go to the house, and at a certain time at night, you would hear this thumping.
The thumping of the head.
Eventually, what happened was the house was demolished, and the ghost hunters went back to the site before it got rebuilt. And sure enough, in the middle of the night, when the murder took place, they could hear the thumping, even though there was no more house. So it's like when you watch a VHS over and over again, and you kind of like rewind it too many times at the one spot because you see the girl's titties. And it's kind of like that little like etch a sketch thing shows up on the VHS tape. That's kind of like a murder sometimes, is that in that time space area, it puts an imprint on it. And so it's not really like a ghost that's going to scare you and grab you and assault you, because I mean we really don't have that happen a lot, where a ghost actually has physical contact with somebody. It's just a loop, like you said. It's this imprint. A violent act happened there, and it imprinted itself.
But the hotel is still attracting people. So the twins, one of the girls had The Shining, the Scatman had The Shining, and Danny has The Shining. So the hotel wants those people, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it wants to consume Danny. That's why the hotel is sending through the original caretaker to Jack Torrance. He's saying you need to correct them. You need, because the hotel actually wants to consume Danny's power, is what it is.
Oh, when that guy's talking to him, you're right. He tells him to not let Danny use his power and to correct him. You're right.
Yeah, so that's
and
what
it's why, back to Dr. Sleep, while it ate Rose the Hat so well, it wanted Rose the Hat.
Yep. I love that. I was thinking about that scene earlier today. I was like, he lets out the monsters and he's like, they're starving, and I was like, oh, it's so cool.
Look, and that's why I thought that was Jack's brother in the picture, because that guy calls him a different name by the same last name, and that's when Jack has to correct him, or the guy talking to him.
I think he calls him the original caretaker's name. He calls him.
Yeah, exactly.
Does.
Yeah, he does.
He calls him the name of the guy that had the two daughters.
The Grady is.
The Grady. The Grady twins.
And then you hear Jack saying, "It feels like I've been here before." So yeah, you're right. It's just a loop. It's a loop.
It's a loop.
That's
man.
for hope.
What do you think, Jay? You got any opinions on it?
Just as far as like what it all means.
Yeah.
Look, man, I think it's just an old-fashioned kind of haunting. I didn't really ever read into it. Like, it was never a movie I really felt the need to read into it. I felt there was a little bit of haunting. I had it possessed him. Honestly, so what came? Let me ask you this, guys. Does anyone know this? What came first, the Amityville lore or the book of The Shining? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Not the movies, but like, does anyone know? Which is which? Because I've seen the Amityville Horror and I've seen The Shining, and the movies basically one giant mirror of each other.
I feel like Amityville is older. Like, in my mind, I would think that was an older reference.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I didn't even necessarily like. And again, I didn't really pass judgment, but I wasn't even so sure that I thought The Shining was that original. And it's not a knock. It's not a knock against it. But for lack of a better word, I've always found The Shining quite ordinary. And I don't mean that as a negative thing, but I look at it as a haunted house movie. And a lot of things happen. It's a very well done haunted house movie, but I've never considered it like a tentpole of horror. And I know that that's not necessarily a popular opinion. And again, it's not that I don't think it's great. I guess I just don't. I've never bought into The Shining like a lot of people have. And it's not because I'm trying to be contrarian. That's just my own experience with it. I mean, I've had a lot of experience with other Stephen King works that I liked a lot more. I definitely liked It a lot more. Huge Children of the Corn fan. Love Christine. Love Graveyard Shift. But Shining for me, and I might have seen it later in life. I might have seen it too late in life. So
out of Amityville and The Shining, which one would you like, or which one did you like better?
Oh, I definitely like The Shining better. The Shining is definitely a much better movie than the Amityville Horror. That's not even close to being up for debate. Not at all. No. I recognize like Kubrick's amazingness, but yeah, like that's just kind of where I put it in the old pantheon.
Hey, man, you can have a masterpiece and not enjoy it. There are people out there that don't enjoy 2001, even though 2001 hands down is a fucking masterpiece.
Right.
Kubrick's style is hard to take, man, and this movie definitely isn't for everyone. There is one scene I would like to talk about that drives me fucking nuts. Here we go again. A movie I consider a masterpiece, but has a fucking scene that I find pointless, and it just takes me out of the experience. And that is the cheesy ass haunted house scene where she runs into the dining room and you have a bunch of fake skeletons covered in ass cobwebs. And I was like, I've seen better decorations in Coppell on the fucking neighbor's house than that fucking setup. And it's such a shame too, because you have that amazing shot of the elevator spilling out blood, and then you go into fucking cheesy ass skeletons with cobwebs. You know, I was just so confused by that and disappointed in that.
Was it supposed to be the remainders of the bodies that were stacked from the Grady twins? Is that what it was?
From the party? No, it was
No,
from
no,
the
no,
party.
from
All
the
the
party. It
From
was
the
all the,
party.
all the
yeah.
people from the
Okay,
party. But
'cause-
it looks so cheesy. It looks so, hey, run up to Spirit Halloween and grab some skeletons
couple
and
of
put them in
skeletons,
chairs.
yeah.
Yeah, and then some fake cobwebs.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because you have this scene where she sees the weird evil bear mask guy getting a blowjob and the elevator. You have all these weird, bizarre scenes, and all of a sudden it's fucking
Looking like
cheesy
Ralph
ass
the dog.
Fright
dude.
Fest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was it. Other than that, I think this movie's a masterpiece, and I love it.
I just want to point out Amityville is 74, Shining Book is 77. So
There you
just
go.
wanna look that up. Good, Raph, what were you going to say?
And by the way, Amityville is such utter bullshit. Those people that wrote that are fucking con artists on the highest.
Oh, the Warrens, yeah.
Yeah, they're Warren's fucking scam artists. And
What are you
they've
talking about? The
shit
Conjuring's
ton-
made $1 billion, man. People
Yeah,
love
hey,
the Warrens.
you can love them, but they're not real. It's not real. The whole thing's a fucking scam.
Scamming it up. What were you going to say, Raph? He's frozen. Okay, my bad. I went to him and he was gone. Does anyone have a favorite scene from this movie though? There's so many. I just Jack Nicholson's performance when he's losing his mind, when he's mocking her, is so fucking epic. Like he is just, you can't not stop watching him. And Shelley Duvall's like losing her mind herself. You can tell it was real because if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, Kubrick was a dick to her. He treated
He's a
her
monster.
like shit. Like it's abuse. There's no way
Yep.
around it. And he told the cast and crew, do not listen to her. Do not treat her well about this. He never explained himself. He just acted that way. The only person that treated her good was Jack Nicholson. He would actually go out of his way to console her. So it's pretty crazy. But Kubrick definitely abused. I think it's just me and you, Jay. Raph, you there?
Yeah. Can
All
you
right.
hear?
No, you're like frozen up, man. You're frozen up. But I think Jack Nicholson's
man, I
performance
picked up.
is just the shining thing. But Shelley Duvall's performance was actually nominated for a Razzie. And she didn't win, and Kubrick was nominated for a Razzie also for worst director at the time.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where I guess time will tell with this movie. And there, you've seen movies where you'll say time will tell. Like the Batman, time will tell that is a bad movie. What do you think, Jay?
What's your question? My favorite scene?
Yeah.
Oh, I think the best scene in the movie, hands down, is that one shot of Danny riding around this big wheel. That's such a cinematic feat, and it's so. For one thing, it's one of the fastest, best paced scenes in the entire movie, so it definitely stands out to me. But on top of that, I just love where it's going with that cool pattern, and you just keep following them. You keep following them, and you know that eventually you're gonna get to a big payoff. And I think the twins. I think the twins part's scarier than Room 237. Personally, I think it's just more of a. Like I said, anything with kids is always going to be scarier than anything you see with adults.
Yeah,
I've always felt that way. That's 100%. Kids are scarier. Kids aren't developed. I think David told me once that, didn't you say like Lindsay said one of the scariest things ever is seeing 4 high school boys and just that's like one of the scariest things you could ever be around because of their lack of development.
They have not developed the concept of finality, and they have developed the concept of groupthink.
Yeah.
And so one of them starts doing something bad, the other ones start doing it, and they have no idea of consequences.
Agreed.
And before you know it, they're doing something incredibly dangerous and deadly because they don't fucking have that brain developed yet. I would definitely say that the twin scene is, and also what's so iconic about this film too is I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's the first use of the Steadicam.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And without the Steadicam, you can't do those scenes on the big wheel.
Yeah.
Because it's somebody following and behind them, whereas before they would have to have everything on a track. And that was really, really engaging. It gave the audience a point of view that's never been there before. And the sound design of the big wheel going from the hardwood floor to the carpet is so enchanting and so mesmerizing.
And that's Foley. That's all Foley artist, right? That's all.
I don't know. I mean, I guess so, but I love the idea of that sound going from the hardwood floor to the carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duck, did you rock a big wheel growing up, dude?
Absolutely. And my first thought when I saw that scene was, God damn, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the whole hotel to yourself.
You could get that big wheel going so fucking fast if you had a flat surface, and just imagine being able to do.
And you remember doing that thing, Doug, where you would take your hand and you would put the wheel and you would move it some to get going?
Yep. Yeah, dude. I love big wheel. Big wheel was the shit.
Do y'all remember which? Just to get a little off topic, do y'all remember what kind of big wheel y'all had? Like, did y'all have a licensed one, or did y'all just have
Tiny Tykes, wasn't it? Something like that.
I had the red one, but remember the green one that came out? That was kind of longer. It was almost like a chopper. And I don't know if it was a big wheel, but it was might have been a competing brand, but it was way cooler.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That scene with the Steadicam, they actually put the guy who created the Steadicam into a wheelchair and pushed him behind him. That's how they got that shot. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I would say just watching him descend into madness is so much fun, and it happens within a week. Like, it's like they get Monday through Friday. You know, he didn't make it to Sunday, I don't think. And so it's just so much fun. And those were the scenes that I really enjoyed clipping today. It's just him mocking her is just so intense, so intense. Here comes Raph. But yeah, I like the whole movie. I dig it, but it is long, like you said. And you guys know my thing. I don't particularly care for long movies, but Kubrick actually ended up cutting the ending out, and the ending is missing. It is lost media. So the ending was an additional 2 minutes where it shows Shelley Duvall and the kid in a hospital afterwards, recuperating from everything. And for whatever reason, he didn't like the way it ended. So he went back after it was released in theaters and told everyone to remove the final reel of the movie and send it back.
Because what was it? That everything was a dream? It was all in her head?
No, it was just she told the story. The doctor believed her, and that was pretty much it. It was just superfluous, basically.
Oh, so because I thought it was she's in the hospital. The doctor's talking to her, and the doctor tells her, "Ma'am, we just checked the hotel. There's nobody there."
Yes, that's what they said. They never found the body of Jack Torrance. So, yeah, but the doctor still believed her. It's just a matter of they never found the body. So it was one of those things where, like, what happened? I think the hotel consumed him, like I said, and brought him into the hotel, and he's part of it. What's up, Raph? Then an additional 25 minutes were removed from the European release.
Wow.
Yeah, so they took out a lot of key scenes when it came to that. So the movie was edited again and again. And like I said, when it was released, the reviews were not in. Like, this became more of a cult movie, like the biggest cult movie maybe of all time, because people slowly started to come around and really enjoy it. Like I was telling Jay when you left there for a second, David, it was both Kubrick and Shelley Duvall were nominated for Razzies for this movie.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
I do remember when this movie came out. You're right; it was not a huge success, was it?
No, not at all. And they actually took back the Razzie nomination. Last year they did too. They took away Shelley Duvall's Razzie nomination, and they recanted the Bruce Willis Razzie nominations for his 8 terrible films he made in a small period of time, based upon his disease.
The fact that he's not there.
Sick, yeah. So,
even though Hudson Hawk totally deserves it, and I think you would agree.
Oh my God.
Raph, what you got on your list? Can't hear you.
Did you talk about the old lady?
Oh, we did not talk about the old lady. Of course.
You mean my jerk off scene?
Yeah, dude.
The scene.
Yeah, dude. Where the frickin' she comes out of the tub and she seduces him, and I mean, who wouldn't be seduced? And here's somebody else coming in. Let's find out who this is. I don't even know.
It's Miles. And then she gets lays that kiss on him, and then she slowly starts fucking turning into Skeletor. Fuck, bro.
Dude, as a little kid, like being at that like 12, 13 years old, I'm like, this is my first experience with porn, and it fucked me up.
Way to kill a boner.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, what do I do now?
All right, y'all, Javi, red
Hey,
rum, red rum, red rum virus.
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Javi, when did you first see The Shining?
I think I was 6 when I first saw it.
Oh God.
Damn.
Whoa.
I didn't get it. All I know is that when I saw that chick in the tub, I was like, my pee-pee's doing things I've never felt. And then she like turned
And
on.
then-
Don't worry, Javi. Roth saw it when he was 35, and he still doesn't get it. So don't worry.
Well, then, like, yeah, my brother and uncle fucking love that movie. So like every year around Halloween time, we would watch it, and I love that movie. I just, granted, there are times where I just want to like backhand Danny. There's just something about that kid.
It's the haircut, man. I want to slap his hair off. I hate that fucking haircut.
That may be it. And like fucking
And his
Shelley
shitty
Duvall
acting.
was such a weak sister. I hated it. It's like, come on, just fucking whack that motherfucker.
She
Stand up for yourself.
does. She gets them.
But she got to be so loud and whiny about
In
it.
an infamous scene where the baseball bat, which made of rubber, actually bounces off his head. Huge goof. Huge goof.
Damn.
Nice.
I do fucking love that scene. I was like, what a life. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Whack.
What else you got, Raph?
So the gross kiss, and then the thing that bothered me the most, I have to go back to
The kiss wasn't all that gross. Let's be honest. It was kind of hot.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hot. I'm right there with you, man.
And then when she turned into
right
the
at
old
the
lady,
end.
it got hotter. That's all.
Oh yeah.
You know
I think
what that was?
that
There
name
you
like
go.
started out my old lady thing. 'Cause, like,
That scene was me at the club when I was in the band, making out with a chick when the lights were off, and then it was
then they
last
came
call.
on.
The lights came on, and I was like, well, my dick's hard
I
already.
gotta go.
Gotta finish this.
Gotta take her home. She might have rabies or scabies or whatever the fuck's all over her body, but we're going.
or not both.
But she ain't got no teeth, so all that means I bet she can suck the fuck out of a dick.
Oh god,
Gummy,
gummer.
gummy.
Just close my eyes, just close my dick. Maybe look at a magazine over here.
Old lady magazine.
Yeah. Let me get a National Geographic out. Let's see here.
There you go. Classic. You're going old school. What else you got, Raph?
No, I just want to complain about that. No, I understand why Stephen King would be mad when your hero walks in after booking a flight, buying a snowmobile, getting the fuck out there, and then he dies within a minute of walking in that bitch.
sucks.
Yeah.
That almost ruined the movie for me. But then you have the amazing chase through the maze, which I love how the maze is in the hotel, and then on the outside, that was a great shot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean-
I love how cold it was, and there was no mist coming out of their mouths.
Yeah.
That was
No,
amazing.
because the set was ridiculously hot to
That's
the point where
crazy.
people had to start stripping naked. Like, not completely naked, obviously, but they had to get down to like their skivvies and shit like that.
Go on.
And then the old lady came out. Yeah.
Raph,
the
did you
sets
like
was
this
burning
movie?
Yeah, no, I loved it.
I was
up.
about
You
to
just
say you
didn't
better.
understand it. Yeah.
No, I just didn't. I thought it was the Sixth Sense at first, and then I thought it was his brother. But then we came to find out that it was him just reliving his life.
So
over
did
and
you
over
see
again.
You saw was this your
Yeah,
first time
it's-
watching it?
No, it's not. And I did see Doctor Sleep. That was a good one too.
I think Doctor Sleep makes this movie even better.
It does.
Yeah.
I don't know how it does it, but watching it just clarified a lot of things for me.
Well, I think I could break it down a little bit. I mean, like for one, like Mike Flanagan, he made all the right moves. He kissed the ring of the king, literally. So he was able to, get his seal of approval. And so he got to make a movie that, but at the same time, I think King realized, he's like, this movie is in the lexicon. I can't fundamentally change it and make it better. So I think Stephen King compromised a little bit.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Absolutely did, because when they made Doctor Sleep, Flanagan went to him and he said, it's so iconic. Let's take parts of your book. Let's take parts of the movie. There's no way we're going to be able to avoid it. And let's make a pseudo sequel to your movie, which acts as a wonderful thing. So like in Doctor Sleep, whenever Jack Torrance says, take your medicine, that is directly from the book. That's something he said to Danny before he would spank him.
Yes.
And so they use that, but at the same time, they use the exact same scene of the bar, the gold room. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. And then they use the red bathroom over again, marrying him, cleaning him. That's just badass. You know what I mean? I just think Dr. Sleep makes this experience even better, which is so weird to say because I would have never expected to believe that. But it also explains The Shine a little bit more. You know what I mean? The Shine and The Shining is very mysterious. You don't know what
You're
it
right.
is. You don't know what the powers are. And like even in Dr. Sleep, you don't know what the powers are because the powers change all the time. But showing that people are kind of like Twilight vampires where they have special skill sets to each of them. The Shine allows them to have those. I think it just kind of changes a little bit.
I almost felt like Dr. Sleep, and again, I'm not clouding on it because I think this movie is phenomenal, but I got a real witches vibe from Dr. Sleep. You got this cauldron of superpowered that goes after children and they want to feast on them and their special powers. I totally was like, I mean, you totally get a witch's vibe from it. And I think it works. I think it works phenomenal. I mean, again, it's kids. I mean, like kids in danger, man. It's some of the scariest shit in the world. So I thought they did a great job with that.
I wish I would have grabbed from witches and actually turned that baseball player kid into a mouse rather than like have him scream for 5 minutes.
Dude, that is such a hard scene to watch.
That was a rough one.
Yeah.
The rough scene. What were you gonna say, Raph? What you got?
That was gonna be something stupid, but I'll still say it. So I think I got it. The hotel was a pervert ghost because he didn't kill Scatman. He killed the twins and he was trying to kill Danny, but never did the hotel.
That's not true though, because in the bathroom when he drops the N-word, he says that he's coming to help him. He says take care of him. So the hotel was against him.
Are you trying to make a case that the house wasn't racist? Like the house was a pedophile, the house was a pedophile. But I'll tell you what, that house would have marched. That house would have marched if it could have.
Did you see?
You heard it here first.
Did you see?
You heard it here first
in the room. Did you see a black person?
I mean, where are we going? Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this?
No, I think it is.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right, and then the last thing, what I found out today, that wasn't Jack Nicholas at the end. It was actually
yeah, really?
Jack Nicholson.
Wasn't the Golden Bear himself?
Hole in one.
Rocking and rolling. Don't let him finish the statement. Attack. Do not let him finish. Do not let him recover. Stay on target. I can't shake him. Stay on target. Nope. No redemption. Nope.
It was a wax puppet.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. I love you guys.
Love you, Rev. I'm drunk.
Are you really drunk? I thought you had a cup of soup. I got like
this is like juice mixed with like it was like up to here with vodka.
Damn,
whiskey soup.
Somebody brought the power to fucking Monday night.
And I'm at work. So
all right, guys. Anything else you guys want to say about The Shining? We've talked about it for a good 50-60 minutes now. So
it's a classic. I love it so much. Jack Nicholson is the man. I love Shelley Duvall. And I would love to just backhand like Danny. It's like I really wish that Jack would have got him. But
I would have made a better movie. The black guy survives, the kid dies.
And then Scatman Carruthers.
Yes. And then Scatman marries Shelley at the end. Perfect.
It all works out.
He's a Scatman.
Me, ba 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 boom, boom. And
that
then
is his name, right?
Then his soul got transferred into an Autobot, and he fought alongside Optimus Prime for many adventures as Jazz.
Dang.
Come on, Prime! What are we doing?
The thing about this movie is, I think it shows Kubrick as a master in that he basically through his career he was like, I'm going to make the greatest science fiction movie of all time. 2001 done. I'm going to make the greatest horror movie of all time. It didn't happen at first, but now it's considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Full Metal Jacket's considered one of the best war movies of all time. What is it called? How I Learned to Love the Bomb. Dr. Strangelove is
comedy.
That was one of the greatest comedies of all time. The guy is an absolute master, and he gifted us with something that is still resonating today. Come play with us, Danny, forever and ever. Still to this.
When he's running
Danny.
through the hallways, saying, "Danny boy!"
Yeah, I mean,
Coming to
so
get
many
you, Danny boy.
things. 30 was how many years? 40 years later. I mean, it's just amazing.
They're psychological thrillers.
I think Barry Lyndon was a little bit of a miss, and I think most people would say.
You know what? You're right, Jay. Early in his career, he had a couple misses.
Was that early in his career? That was more mid-career, I thought. That was after Clockwork Orange.
Right. Yeah,
that was.
Oh,
that was the middle of the
Clockwork Orange. You're right.
Yeah.
Barry Lyndon. Have you? Because I'm a huge Kubrick fan. I actually watched Barry Lyndon. That's brutally boring.
But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie.
Well, and also, do you know in that movie, there's incredibly gorgeous scenes, interior shots where they used no lighting at all. They just used candlelight, and what a pain in the ass it is to light, you know. But yeah, Barry Lyndon's a brutal and also awfully cast. Like the lead in that sticks out. Like it was the American actor. God, what the fuck is his name? He had a hot daughter.
13 movies in his career that he directed.
Paul Sorvino?
No.
Stanley Kubrick.
Hot daughter.
3 documentaries.
Mira Sorvino. She is fucking gorgeous.
Was it Ryan O'Neal?
Yeah, Ryan O'Neal's daughter.
Ryan O'Neal played him.
Yeah. Bad casting on that.
But 13 movies between Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut. It was 12 years, and he passed away during the making of Eyes Wide Shut. I believe the editing, because from my understanding, he was supposed to write a book to parallel it to kind of explain what the movie was about.
Kubrick?
Yeah, Kubrick. Yeah, so that was his last film.
I actually like Eyes Wide Shut. That movie gets shit on a lot, but I fucking love that movie. I think it's a good fucking movie.
Let's recommend. David, do you recommend The Shining?
Yes. It's a masterpiece.
Right on. Hobby, do you recommend The Shining?
Yes, I also have like a little bit of a dad joke. I like to imagine that if Kubrick was a college professor, he would be like, "This is Kubrick's rubric. I'm drunk. Don't listen to me."
I don't recommend that.
That is a good joke. That is a solid joke.
That's a solid joke. Raph, do you recommend The Shining?
I'm out of it.
Yes, I recommend it. Great film.
Fuck yeah. Jay, do you recommend The Shining?
I definitely recommend The Shining. However, I don't think that anyone who will watch it on a fresh take will really get the full effect based on the fact that this movie has been parodied to hell and back. But I wish you luck. I wish you luck on your first watching if you've never seen it before.
And I love The Shining. That's all I'm going to say. It's so good. All right.
It's so good.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
Let's get to some clips. Am I still sharing the screen?
Yeah.
Can y'all still see this? All right, cool. The hotel. David, does that look like a miniature to you? It looks like a miniature to me.
No, it doesn't look like a miniature to me.
It's not a miniature? Okay.
No, you're very wrong.
Yeah, Kubrick didn't use any miniatures in this. Everything was shot.
That looks like a miniature. I don't know. Anyhow.
That's how good it is. That's how good the shot is.
Yeah. Tony.
What about Tony?
Tony?
He's looking for a hotel, I bet.
All right, so Tony, just to throw this out there, Raph, because I didn't know this either, Tony is actually Danny Torrance from the future talking to him. That's what the character is, what is going on. It's actually when he's seeing the flashes of murder and this and that. Danny Torrance from the future has the ability to show the young Danny Torrance that. So
what he's already seen.
Yes, what the things
that's
he's already seen.
Crazy
So
for real.
To it. So yeah, I don't know why. So Ewan McGregor's talking to a young one. So that is.
So who decided to dress her up as Raggedy Ann doll?
What? Now come on, Tony, don't be silly.
Oh, classic Tony.
Well, how come you don't want to go? I just don't.
I think a fart would have been a better actor.
Let's just wait and see.
I think
We're
he does
all
a
gonna
good
have
job.
a real good
I'm
time.
just
Well,
saying,
this-
like the stepfather in Radio Fire had a good point. Like I can see where he's coming from.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Jesus, Hobby. The kids had to create
Was
a
that-
radio flyer to get out of there.
Was that Daniel? That was the Baldwin, right?
That
The
was Adam
non-related
Baldwin. Yeah.
Adam Baldwin, yeah.
Yeah.
Unique bull.
The tragedy.
Denver about the tragedy we had up here during the winter of 1970. But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and
Muck.
he killed his family with an axe.
Oh yeah, that's
Stacked them
funny,
neatly
guy.
in one of the rooms
wrong
of
with
the
that?
West Wing, and then he put both barrels of a shotgun in his mouth. Police, they thought that it was what the old timers used to call cabin fever.
There it is. The blood elevator. Oh, it's so good. So this took 9 days to set up, and they ended up filming it 3 times until they got it right. But it looks immaculate. That looks like blood. That is so
Gorgeous.
good. Water. And
That
once again,
sound
like
design,
I said,
man. That
during
sound
doctor's
design.
sleep, that thing's on a timer. It goes off every 30 minutes. Accident.
Danny had scattered some of his school papers
That
all over
ash.
the
Now,
room.
look at that ash.
That's
Yeah.
ash.
God, this reminds me of every
This is just the
fucking
sort of thing you do
like
100 times
lower
with a
middle
child
class
in a
house
park
in
on the
America
streets.
in 1980.
On this particular occasion,
I mean, look at the shitty ass job
there's too
he's
much
taking.
strength
I mean,
and
it's
he injured Danny's arm.
first appears.
Laughs about it. So that would have been better if all the darts were in the center.
Hey, whoa, real quick. That is not in the original, is it?
What?
This scene is not in the original movie.
I do not know.
I don't think it is. I believe that is added to an extended cut because do not believe that was the original American cut.
Yeah, because the first time he sees them is in the hallway, right?
Yeah. This is not in the original cut. What are you doing, Duck? Why is
bad.
this in here?
Boo!
We have to
Badly
change
done,
everything now.
It's a scat man.
Okay.
Scrub the cast, redo it.
Yeah, we got to redo
Come
it.
on over and say hello to Mr. and Mrs.
That's a
Torrance.
fucked up name.
This is Dick Halloran.
Hey, let's call it
Jeff.
Black Guy
Halloran.
Scat Man.
Scat man.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The Torrances are going
This
to take care
this
of the
clip's a
Oakland
little bit
Force this
long, so
winter.
just bear with
Oh,
me.
that's just great.
He's like, do y'all have a
Looks like
kid?
hotel so far.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
I like that. Like
Hi,
there's
Danny.
people that have this shining are like
Pork roast
fucking
and pretty
Jedi's.
legs of lamb. You
Like
like
they
lamb,
die, but
Doc?
not really.
No,
You don't?
Nah.
Well, what's your favorite food then?
French fries and ketchup.
Well, I think we need to Doc. Come along now, watch your
How'd
step.
you know we call him Doc?
Beg pardon?
Doc. You call Danny.
Because I'm
Doc.
crazy, bitch.
We call him Doc sometimes, you know, like in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. But how did you know that?
Well,
God, I love Shelley Duvall. Good lord.
We were
No,
talking
I was-
about it earlier. It's just me and you, Hobbs. No one else.
Yeah,
is on that train.
I don't see it.
You don't
Maybe I-
see it?
But honestly,
Maybe as
doesn't make it
Olive, but
It's like Rab said. It's because she looks like she's out of a Tim Burton movie. That's probably why we
Yeah.
like her. He's right.
That's got to be about. I know like
Well, anyway, it
Shelley
looks like a
Duvall
duck,
when
doesn't
she was in her prime could fucking get it, bro. She
Dude,
was
that picture
Gorgeous.
you posted was super hot.
What's that, Doc?
And then Kubrick happened, and then she gone. It's like
How'd you like some ice cream, Doc?
that was a bit sinister.
You know how I knew your name was Doc? I can remember when I was a little boy.
because you a creep.
My grandmother and I would hold conversations entirely without ever opening our mouths.
Don't be a creep, Scat Man.
She called
you got,
Real
Jeff?
quick, little fun fact for you. This character is a relative of Mike Hanlon from It.
Yes, he's mentioned in it. and all.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Love it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's.
Are you
mentioned in the
serious?
novel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! So
long.
Shining and It take place in the same universe.
Yes.
Oh,
all
pretty
Stephen
much.
King books.
Yeah, the whole Stephen King thing is a big. The Dark Tower pretty much tells you that
Connects
the whole
it.
thing is. Yeah, it's one giant. That's what Castle Rock's based on. All that. But that's a fine one.
Every home is on top of a Indian burial ground in every fucking movie.
They say that in this movie that this was built over Indian land. So yeah, it's crazy,
ridiculous.
But yeah, they're all connected.
That's fucking nuts.
And Castle Rock season 1 is amazing. Go watch that.
Yeah, Castle Rock season 2 is not.
Yeah, I heard. that first season is killing,
which is sad
because it was based on Misery, wasn't it?
Yeah, and like here's the thing, like how do I put it? So like Misery might be the greatest Stephen King movie by the numbers ever made. By the numbers, just by the numbers. Like you don't need to do a series on it. Like it's done. It's it happened. It's like we're good.
Yeah, it was almost like the Misery was basically like they just took the novel and made the screenplay out of it.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like it's such a well encompassed. Like to me, I would consider Misery a masterpiece if I were to consider like a Stephen King movie a masterpiece. Saw when I was young and all that stuff. But yeah, they decided to make that into the second season. It's like nobody gives a shit. We've already been down this road.
So they shut the whole like premise of Misery into a whole season of a show.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the prequel to Misery.
How Annie became Annie, essentially.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's fine.
Pretty much. Anyway.
Just like you probably thought you was the only one.
Shit, motherfucker.
All other folks, though mostly
I would like to redo this as Samuel L. Jackson to see the Samuel L. Jackson voiceover.
Yes.
It's the Shining, motherfucker.
You do not go into room 237, motherfucker.
Hey, real quick though, if they were to remake this movie, I think there's not an actor alive I'd rather see do it than Tony Todd. I think Tony Todd would absolutely wreck that role. He's also pretty much I think he's the same age as Scatman was in the Shining. So
the guy that did the Scatman role in Doctor Sleep was fucking spot on.
Amazing.
Yeah, he did great too.
Rolling. What? Here's your sound design, David. Here you go.
Yep.
That green one was called the Green Machine.
Was it right there?
Yeah, that's got. Man, I think that has to be Foley.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes,
I love that. I love that sound.
It's too good.
Yeah. I just love that, man.
I love that shot. So
it's just giving you anxiety because you're turning those corners.
Tell me
you don't know what's around the corners.
That would have been so much fun.
Oh, that. Oh no, dude, don't do it.
Do it,
bro. I don't like to be in a I don't like to be in a hotel by myself nowadays. So fucking imagine that shit.
I love.
Dude, when that door opens up and the fucking ball comes out. Oh.
We didn't even talk about the Pentagon shape of the carpet, or is it? What's a six?
It's a hexagon.
Hexagon.
Yeah, thank you. It supposedly it represents.
No, it's not.
That's a pentagon.
So supposedly it represents
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. I guess six. Yeah.
Yeah, it represents the landing pad for the NASA space shuttle. So I think I clipped it. So we'll get to that.
It just looks like a bunch of penises.
Jack,
you see penises everywhere.
Everywhere.
Whenever you come
hey, Raph, the back of that chair looks like a penis.
It actually does look like a penis. Or a pawn, which is essentially a penis.
It does look like a pawn, which is the penis for the brain.
Where I was. Understand?
Oh, we didn't talk about his typing either. That every page.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with a really cool book.
Whenever I'm in here, you hear me typing.
God, he's such a dick.
Whether you don't hear me typing, what the fuck you hear me doing in here, when I'm in here, that means that I am working. That means don't come in. Now, do you think you can handle that?
No.
All I hear is Homer Simpson. I just hear Homer Simpson.
Twins. There they are.
Hard pass.
What you looking at? You trying to get this dick or what?
Like, check out my big wheels, bitches.
Whoa! Hey, I'm just gonna let you know, Javi. That last comment will not age well in the next 10 years.
It will not.
I don't think it aged well in the first
Right
10
now.
seconds, to be
Bro,
honest.
that was solid.
Oh!
Damn. Oh. Well, we're off Twitch now.
And ever.
Dude. Oh, that fucked me up.
Can't show that on Twitch.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a fucking like prequel series to this. Like, what happened with that first family? I know we know what happened.
Yeah.
Or like how the Overlook became the Overlook.
I would love to see that. That would be a great series.
It's the same.
Or like the building of the Overlook.
Yeah.
Everybody dies building it.
What?
Yeah, right here he's possessed. He's like,
Did he get an
"Ugh."
Oscar for this role?
Say that.
No.
The movie wasn't that well received, dude.
Yeah, the movie was panned, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, really?
It was-
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like The Thing. When it came out, it ate shit, and now it's a fucking classic.
Yeah. Like I
People
said
people
earlier,
weren't ready for it, man. They
you
weren't
missed
ready.
it. Shelley Duvall
Sorry.
got a Razzie nomination for it. So.
Wait, the Razzies were even going on back in the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
No, Raz has been around for a long time.
Jeez, I thought that was like a 90s thing.
Never. You know that, don't you?
Yes,
We were talking
I
about
would be
VHS
terrified.
earlier.
Trucks and stuff. Here it is. So supposedly this is supposed to be a recreation of the NASA moon landing pad. And then these are how the trucks are formed on the Apollo 11 whenever he stands up, which I don't think I got him standing up, but the Apollo 11 is on his shirt. Nightmare.
That just
So
sounded really gay.
the big thing is the moon landing was a hoax and Stanley Kubrick directed it. That's the whole theory. And then he made The Shining to tell everyone that that is the case. So
Dream I ever had.
It's okay. It's okay now.
I dreamed that I killed you and Danny.
oh shit.
But I didn't just kill you. I cut you up into little pieces. Oh my God.
Danny, what happened to your neck? You did this to him. Didn't you?
Could just lays like a lump.
You son of a bitch! You did this to him. Didn't you?
He's such a good actor.
So good, dude.
You've ever been accused of something you've done in the past, but you didn't do it recently? He got that look on his face. It's like, wait, I didn't do it this time. I swear to God. What are you talking about?
Also, it's one of those things where, like, I didn't do it this time, but if you think I did, I might as well do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I've done something bad in the past. Here, I like this freaking out in the hallway. And the music going along with it.
Hi, Lloyd. A little slow tonight, isn't it?
And to have that movie cut into him actually seeing somebody, just so epic.
Look, and then he knows his name. He knew his name right off the
A
bat.
bottle of bourbon, a little glass, and some ice. You can do that, can't you, Lloyd? You're not too busy, are you?
No, sir. I'm not busy at all.
Good man. You set him up and I'll knock him back, Lloyd. One by one.
Kiss, kiss. There you go, guys. I couldn't clip the moment before.
Yeah, you could have. You've done it before.
I don't count the old woman negative.
Which doesn't either.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yo.
Red rum.
You having a bad dream?
So that old lady choked Danny out, right? When he walked in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Away, Mrs. Torrance.
She made him breastfeed her like that fucking psycho in Barbarian.
Oh, work.
Great job, hon. Your novel looks amazing.
Boy.
So Kubrick's secretary had to type up all those pages, and it took her. About
He probably made her redo them. He's like, "This is wrong."
I think you have some very definite ideas
Not about Danny.
what should be done with Danny, and I'd like to know what they are.
I love this.
Bro, it's not acting if he's really crazy. That's all I gotta say.
Maybe he should be
You think maybe he should be taken
I'm
to
not
a
gonna
doctor?
lie. Whenever I see this scene, especially after meeting Jake, I've seen Jake kind of get this attitude in these episodes. Oh, really? You think they're gonna do that?
You think maybe he should be taken to a doctor?
As soon as possible. As soon as possible.
Right
there. Yeah.
Please. You believe his health might be at stake.
Yes.
You are concerned about him.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time though.
Yeah, this
like
seems
once they
intense.
picked up, I was like,
I just want to
fuck.
go back to my
I was like, swing, bitch.
I'm very confused. I just need a chance to think things over.
Then that's great. They're
You
still
had your
going up
whole
the stairs.
fucking
That's
life
awesome.
To think things over. What good's a few minutes more gonna do you now?
Stay away from me. Please.
It's so intense.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, I'm making her.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
My life.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
Stay away from me. Don't hurt me.
Oh, that's
So good. So good.
that was
so intense.
awesome.
So intense. Murder. Here's Johnny.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
I forgot all about that part. So they made a fake door, and Jack Nicholson used to be a fireman, so he knew how to come through a door with an axe, and he went through the door too quickly. So they had to go get a real door. I don't understand why she got a Razzie. I think she's amazing.
Yeah, she did pretty good right there.
Oh!
No, was this line improvised or was it in the book?
Improvised.
Here's Johnny.
Your name isn't Johnny.
Stanley Kubrick was British. He didn't have Johnny Carson evidently in Britain, so he didn't get the reference. But he almost took it out of the movie. Now it's one of the most iconic things ever.
That was awesome.
That man dead. Oh, there you go, Raph.
I hate that. That's the saddest part.
You're right.
It's so quick.
So what I learned today was that the director wanted to only shoot that about 3 times, but the black man wanted to shoot it like 50 times, and they thought because he was older he couldn't do it. But Jack had his back, and they actually shot it about 50 times. But
Damn.
you saw that one? That was one of the first takes.
Old scat man. Johnny boy or Danny boy, sorry.
Danny! Danny boy!
This actually creeped me out legit. Like when he crawls out of there.
Ooh, shit. Again, the music.
The hedge maze.
So all this is just fake snow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science.
Shot at Pinewood Studios, I believe, in London.
Yes. Actually, Raiders of the Lost Ark was supposed to shoot there earlier, and they had to push it back because the film filmed. It was only supposed to film for 2 months or 3 months, and they ended up filming for a year.
Of course, Kubrick.
Kubrick. Is he having a heart attack? Or is he just cold?
On Chewbacca, bro.
There it is.
That's awesome. I always thought it was him in character.
Rolled up. Well, I wonder where that is now. The photo.
Love the photo. And his positioning is that of Baphomet.
Is it really?
Uh-huh. That's how Baphomet is positioned.
And this goes back to to what David was saying, that skeleton scene, because the previous shot where everybody was in the ballroom, like everybody was in costume from the 20s, and it was badass. So for them to skip out and not use real skeletons,
man, it's
was
just
crazy.
so cheesy.
They should have
So
pulled
could
the
it
guys to that shit.
Wait, did he have The Shining as well?
The father?
Yeah.
I was curious of that too, but I don't think he did. It was just the hotel, Scatman, and Danny who had it. So.
Yes. And one of the girls.
I mean, I always got kind of like, ever since I saw The fucking Shining, knew that it was like a thing. Fucking Doctor Sleep. Like, what if like the hotel like pretty much takes on somebody to be its vessel?
Yeah, it's Vessel. Yeah.
So that's what he was.
Yeah. Because he wanted to get the Danny killed so he could take the kid's soul.
Yeah, so he could use
Feed the hotel wanted to feed off The
Eats.
Shining.
Like in Doctor Sleep, how it eats from Rose the Hat at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go recommendations. My first one, of course, will be the 1997 version of The Shining with the Wings Man in it. I'm only recommending this because I think it's not good from what I've seen. It's very cheesy and over the top, but Jay said it's okay, right?
It's just yeah, it's just way more faithful. But yeah, it's pretty cheesy.
That's the girl from Look Who's Talking Now. She was the one that was trying to seduce John Travolta.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You got receipts on that?
I got all the receipts, bro.
All right. The next one I will recommend is Doctor Sleep, of course, because we've already talked about it. It's a perfect sequel. Wherever it lays,
So good.
It's just so good. Back to back, I say watch these. It just makes you appreciate The Shining so much more from watching it. And as a standalone film, it works. You don't even have to see The Shining. So great work, nicely done. Those are my recommendations. What do you guys got?
Room 237.
The documentary about the moon landing hoax. Is that what it's about?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Basically, it goes through every single weird conspiracy theory ever written about The Shining, and it goes by pretty fast. But it is insane. Some of the cool stuff they talk about. I don't believe the moon landing thing, but I love the idea they go over how none of the floor plans in The Shining make sense. How they show one scene of them walking this way, and then when they open the door, it's a completely different room. But I wanted to show you guys something. One of my favorite things I got from Spirit Halloween is an actual map of the Overlook Hotel.
Very
It has
nice.
all the little spots.
That is super cool. Yeah, it's because they were sets and they took them around and took different pictures of hotels and they just said, like, we like this one, we like this one. And then they just wanted it to be kind of that way, much like the hedge maze. They wanted you to kind of get lost in it. So,
yeah, but the amount of conspiracy theories around this movie is just phenomenal. And then when you watch the documentary, you're like, maybe the moon landing was a hoax.
What but at least he admits how crazy it sounds. Like he doesn't claim that it's the gospel. He's like, I know this.
No.
He's like, I know it makes me sound like a lunatic. But and the way, like the one thing I definitely want to do from that documentary is I definitely want to see the movie frontwards and backwards, because they say if you watch it frontwards and backwards, it all tells a different story that completely lines up.
Well, you have to watch it. It overlays itself, right? That's what he means when you watch it.
Yeah.
You kind of have an opacity to the thing, so they play over each other.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a part, I think, where the elevator explodes with the blood, and it's supposed to coincide with another scene. But the one scene I definitely remember is that they said that if you look at the helicopter shot of them going over that that water, and then you'll see the picture of the dance party. It's like if you overlay them together, it really looks like a postcard, like a picture perfect postcard.
Damn, I didn't know that.
I'm surprised you didn't see it, man. You were all those facts you were dropping came directly from that documentary.
I never.
This guy's seen it.
I saw another YouTube documentary many years ago that was kind of like a precursor to 237. So, who's got a recommendation?
I do.
Well, we already said it. The Amityville Horror, but the newer one.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it
Get
wasn't
the
bad.
fuck out of here! Really?
Yeah, it's a little different than the original one, but it gets out there.
I love Ryan Reynolds. I've never seen it.
What you got, Hobbs?
I'm gonna go with Stir of Echoes. You can't go wrong with Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, Stir of Echoes is awesome.
Mighty Ducks 2. She rapes him in that movie.
Oh my god!
Also, I
somebody
believe
got raped in the Mighty Ducks 2.
Ducks 2.
No, in a Stir of Echoes. Like,
Oh, thank God.
She was in Mighty Ducks 2. She was Emilio Estevez's love interest in Mighty Ducks 2.
And then rapes him.
But she does just forces.
I was like, Disney took a turn, dude. I got
Stir of Echoes was written by the guy that wrote Seven.
Really?
Yeah. Hey guys,
Which,
I wanted
by
to show
the
you
way,
my
Jay is very upset that we did not put 7 on the top 5, and I am with
No, I'm not mad. I'm surprised. I'm surprised we all let that one slide by the wayside.
Yeah.
Well, is that more of a horror movie and is it more of a psychological? More of a thriller.
It would count as a
dude.
horror, 100%.
You give me a fucking break. The guy's the original Jigsaw, for crying out loud. That's a horror movie.
Here is
that a NECA?
No, this is not a NECA. This is from Redman. He makes these by order only. It took me 2 years to get this one. They're handmade.
Is it the rapper?
Yeah, that's what
Redman. No, Redman toys.
Oh, awesome. How much did that cost? I bet a pretty penny.
$200.
God damn. Jay, what you got for your recommendation?
Man, if we're going haunted house movies, I'm gonna go with something a little fun. I'm gonna go with House on Haunted Hill from 1999. That's the worst
CGI ever.
I did not like that movie. I like the original black and white.
No, I'm thinking of
one.
The Haunting. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm thinking of The Haunting.
Yeah, that's okay. The Haunting came out 3 months before House on Hill, and yes, The Haunting it's garbage, and I think it's got a pretty. Didn't Spielberg direct that?
No. It was Jean de Bont, the guy that did.
Jean de Bont. Okay, so yeah, you definitely not know, but House on Hill. That movie surprised the shit out of me.
So much.
That was the first Dark Castle
the one with
movie
Chris
I ever saw.
Kattan?
Loved it.
Dude,
loved it.
It's so bad.
It's so 1999. I'll put it this way: it's no worse than Idle Hands. So
I would disagree with that 100%.
No, Idle Hands is good.
Idle Hands is good.
Hey,
House on Haunted Hill is shit.
Famke Jensen's in House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
So,
did Idle Hands get a sequel? Okay, that's what.
Did House on Haunted Hill get a crap
DVD
DVD sequel? Idle Hands doesn't need a sequel. It's a masterpiece. House on Haunted Hill is shit.
Holy shit, guys! Did you know that Robert Zemeckis produced it?
No.
What, The Haunting?
No, the House on Haunted Hill.
Makes
Goddamn
sense.
right he did. Goddamn right he did.
During his period of making crap CGI fest movies like Beowulf and The Pool.
That's all they had.
Duck's just mad that the black guy survived.
Hey, it did pretty good.
I'm kidding.
It made some pretty good money off of its budget.
No, it did. That movie was not a bomb. It was not a bomb.
Oh, it did get a direct-to-DVD sequel, Return to House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, with Chris Kattan coming back.
and then you know what I really loved about that? It's got Jeffrey Combs in it, man. Playing
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush as well, but Jeffrey Combs is in it. He plays the crazy doctor in that.
Oh shit.
So I mean, yeah, it's a throwback. It just does everything right. So I mean,
I love the original Vincent Price movie, the black and white one with the skeleton at the end. That was back when they did the art house thing where they had like the skeletons float through the theater and shit like that. I would love that stuff. Very popcorn. All right, guys. Well, that is The Shining. David, where can they find you on the internet?
They can find me at Stop Motion Nightmares on Facebook, Children of David on Instagram, and the Addison Improv this Wednesday.
Woo!
We got
Tales from the
Dork Side.
Greatest poster ever made. Love it.
Oh, I don't know about that, but thank you. Hobby, where can they find you?
In Addison, Texas. Oh. You can find me in my art and my frogs at Javi Bear Studios on TikToks and Instagrams.
Nice. Raph, how about you? Where can they find
Raphael Fest on YouTube, and I got new videos coming out tomorrow, guys.
You changed your name finally on
No, it's the same one. It's Raphael Fest or RFLSON. But if you put that fucking soccer player comes on. So I'm just telling people to put my name on it for now. I have a name for my new one. I just have to make it, which will probably be done this week.
You've been saying that for a year.
I know, but I've also been working.
I don't want to say Fez, but not that Fez from That 70s Show.
It's gonna be Sean Connery. Y'all can find me on Sean Connery.
Well, he's dead, so yeah, that name is.
Oh man. Man, that's sad.
You're Sean Connery.
Jay, you still doing Ego Phoenix, or did you finish it up?
No, I'm still doing it, and I think this week, we're gonna go straight Tuesday through Monday, and we're gonna do our Soul Monday entry on Halloween. So it's gonna be fun. We got Tuesday Bruise Day. We got Women Conquer Wednesday. I just started Thursday. We're doing Thursday Burrs Day with cold movies. Friday is Friday Night Delights. That's more of a free for all. It's kind of dealer's choice on that. And then Saturday is our versus series. This will be the final verses of the year, so I'm hoping to do something pretty big. Last week's we did the God Hand from Berserk versus the Cenobites. Cast your votes, everybody. That's a pretty good one, isn't it? That's a pretty good throwdown, isn't it? So,
God Hands, Berserk, all the way.
Yeah. Hey, well, I mean, I get it. They got inspired by the Cenobites. Why wouldn't they be better?
Oh.
Right on. And you can find us on the internet at wearepodcast.podbean.com, where you can find all the podcasts. Check out our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at /wearepodcast. And you can find us every Monday for Camp/Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past, live at 8 p.m. Central here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the places. With that said, next week will be episode 100 with Silence of the Lambs. That will be our top pick. The silence of the lambs. With that said, keep horror in your heart. Keep it in your heart, motherfuckers. And we'll cut the feed. Silence of the Lambs. Bye, everybody.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.